non-constipated as I evacuated my bowels. I haven't done Tai Chi today, I haven't done Qigong today, so the energy in which I present this is also the slight irritation of having to work later. I'm actually putting off work right now knowing that it's fiscally irresponsible. But I also know that it's very rare that I have insights like this that I'm about to share with you, my humanity, 8 billion that are my brothers and sisters here on Earth. It may be years before you discover this video. Maybe you have already contemplated the metaphysics and deep dive understanding the profound insights of what it means once you become a master at masturbating, and what that really means about the soul, on if you're masturbating to multiple different people or one person or maybe just a couple different people. It is to say that some of my masturbations have been lustful, some have been very soulfully connected, and obviously you have mega lust, mega connection, the heart and the soul of wanting to be a part of this being entirely, not just through the physical. And there's different reasons why I would masturbate, maybe out of stress or out of just a desire to feel connection. And you know, throughout one of my best relationships, I didn't masturbate at all. We would just have great sex for, 2 to 4 to sometimes 6 hours a night, depending on how wet she was and how hydrated, and how much food I had eaten that day, how many times I could last, or even given either time I'd give a load. Anyway, from what I remember, because I haven't tapped into the memories of really masturbation before age 10. It's when I have like really my first profound memory of beginning the masturbations. And it's very interesting. I first started masturbating to TV stars. It is to be noted that some strange things happened to me when I was younger, things that were non-consensual. I won't get into that, but I do not believe that masturbation is wrong, but I do believe that you are giving a lot of potent energy that takes time to reaccumulate, whether it be through food or rest, and time regeneration of the sacred semen, which is the genetic code which brings life into Earth. A lot of people say masturbation is wasting. I think that if I would have blown over 20,000 nuts in my life, though, having 20,000 children, I would be ill-prepared to take care of all those children mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. So this is something deep for humanity to think of. Is porn really bad, or has it been a gateway for us to end racism, to love others deeply and fully other than just one? Religion has for always separated us from other religions and stuff. Some religions have it right. They preach world unity, and everyone seems to have their own interpretation of God or goddess. 99% of my masturbations have been towards women. I would say the other 1% have been towards men or transsexuals. Obviously, as the LGBT aura of thought has permeated both media and the frequency waves of telepathy of the human mind, because everybody's thinking thoughts and projecting energies into the quantum hive mind. It's a very interesting accumulation that I'm finally taking this deep dive with you, my humanities. And we are really going dive deep to understand, are we deeply conditioned by others? Why do I have such a resistance to have participated in the orgies that had presented themselves around me almost every day for a year? From, I guess there was some breaks in between, but from the age of, I was like 2018 to 2020, almost again for a couple months in 2022. But yes, there were these orgies that were taking place, but I was too holy and sacred to participate in such orgies. I would masturbate to orgies many times, but I wouldn't masturbate in their presence because of this deep, looming essence that it was wrong for me to connect any way, whether it be through lust or through love, even through masturbation, not even going inside of their flesh. So, why was I so conditioned when everybody else was having erotic, safe fun, when everybody was healthy, nobody had any STDs? Why would I not enjoy my time? Why was I so in my thoughts? And it brings me back to the idea that our thoughts are really not our own, but they are our cult, just thoughts, and our realizations oftentimes are not our own. We have impulses and things like that, and sometimes we feel like we're doing something wrong, and there's so much shame that I felt for most of my masturbation that maybe it wasn't shame, but it was because it's so subconscious at such a level. And then also we could go into the masturbation and how me being circumcised blasphemed my sexual organ and ruined the natural ultimate vitality of natural joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy and anti-aging that I could have achieved while masturbating by having a deeper, broader connection with all those that I've masturbated to or been inside deep, committed relationships. So this is something you must really dive into to understand yourself and your sexuality, because the sexual energy is the creative energy, and even these blankets around me probably have over 2,000 loads on them. And I sleep in my own cum, and I am unashamed. They want to call me filthy, disgusting. Go for it. Hatred is very unhealthy. Now, potentially, if I owned a house and I wasn't living in squalor, I wouldn't be living in squalor, by the way, if I had lost interest in society and things that could be attained through society, through different thoughts and different reality, ideas that I could think could be a quantum manifestation here on Earth that would be much more enjoyable, much more logical, much safer, much happier, much healthier. I won't get into that right now, but really the answers exist within you, because I can't give you the answers. I only can give you my own perspectives and my own experiences. And unless you lived and remembered everything that's ever happened to me since the time I came out of the vagina, or furthermore, since billions of years into my ancestral path, and then understood how other people and other cultures have influenced those at different time-space continuums, would you really understand the profound metaphysics of my own master understanding of my own masturbation? Some say that it is the essence of life. Sometimes I have thought, when I've watched women, drink jugs of cum, that wow, this is creating a baby. This has lots of stem cells, so they're digesting this cum, this essence. What if I had said the sperm that I didn't use to procreate, I had saved it, and I had drank it all myself and bathed in it? what type of immortality in my cellular could I have achieved? You know, it is very interesting. You know, they make stem cells from the embryonic fluid, from the penis foreskin that they circumcise. Those blaspheme motherfuckers. I have a lot of rage and vengeance pent up inside of me, knowing that I will only ever really be able to achieve 50% of working orgasm due to the tissue count that can create oxytocin when I am with any given being through the heart space. But I don't want to get into negative emotions of rage. But everybody's experience on this planet is different. You know, some of us have scars. If other people had those same scars, they wouldn't even be able to handle life itself. Once they really faced what it is, what happened to them, and remembered them to the fullest, and really tried to transmute them by thinking of them day and night. So it is very peculiar, very peculiar. So, on the topic of polyamory, my soul is lustfully polyamorous and also heartfeltly polyamorous from how many women I have masturbated to. Also, I would say that with the different women that I have loved in the physical realm, when I was not masturbating to other women, but deep inside of them for long hours on end, creating full body orgasms, or at least as much as my body was full, since I had been, you know, shafted, you may call it, by the circumcision process. But it is a very interesting, peculiar thing, and the people that have watched this through the end are really seeking to know themselves and their own ideas of how creation works and how we crave interconnectedness with more than just one individual on the deepest, most procreative levels, mentally, physically, spiritually, and sometimes physically. So that's something to think about. I think I will watch this later and do a part 2. But right now, I must get to work. I am sitting on my makeshift toilet in my squalor of living in America, which I'm still very grateful for. This squalor, this vehicle, this spaceship that takes me around space, it is, you know, I should be more grateful for it, even though I freeze to death, and mostly at nights, even with my 5 blankets. And it's given me time to reflect. You know, if I had to pay $3,000 in rent, if I had the job that I loved with all my mind, body, spirit, and soul, I would live there instantly. Of course, I would love to have a hot tub that didn't have chlorine in it, but had, you know, skin positive stuff in it that made me stronger and more relaxed and less agitated and angry and feeling a vengeance when I'm angry by constantly comparing myself to what others have that seem to take everything. But at the end of the day, my life is good. You know, it could be leaps and bounds infinitely better for not only me, but everybody on earth that thinks they have the best life ever. Of course, their life could be infinitely better, and they could make everybody's life infinitely better. It is just in the mind, which would soon procreate into reality. You know, we are very multidimensional as humans. We go through different phases of life. We have different lessons that we learn. Some of us change too rapidly for people to understand us or keep up with us, or we will make people uncomfortable by what we say. But like, if all is God and Goddess, why would you want to know ignorance? Ignorance separates us from God and Goddess, and we must know ourselves and our own sexual drives, and maybe stop blaspheming it. Maybe get down to why understanding what things we do are healthy and unhealthy for us in the ever-ending loop of karma. So, friends of freedom, pioneers of natural joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and absolute anti-aging vitality. Of course, why would this guy be talking about anti-aging vitality when he's busted over 20,000 nuts in his life? That he did not produce human beings that helped everybody on earth and make their lives filled with more joy, peace, and bliss, so all of us could sidestep karma. He is a fool. He is an idiot. He is a scoundrel. He is a bastard. He is a trifling, ratchet whore. If you want to come at me with deep hatred like that, then that is your blueprint. You won't be able to really meditate through the heart space on what I'm saying. You know, we all experience different emotions that exist in the universe of past, present, and future. So that's what I give to you. That's what I give to myself, which is the universe. That's what I give to us. Something to contemplate. Now, I really do wish that we can leave anger and vengeance behind. I know this channel was called the Giant Sword Workout. 50 swings that symbolize cutting through the own shadows of oneself and the demons through joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy. But oftentimes we don't even understand why we have these shadows. And we do very little to understand our shadows and what created them and how these shadows actually come back in karmic paths that don't serve us. So it has been an interesting journey. I love all of you deeply, only in the certain time spaces that I'm capable. It's hard for me to love the entire human race lately, but throughout spans of masturbation I have felt impenetrable fullness of loving every human being on earth in a heart-centered way. And it wasn't in a sexual way. I was just stimulating the organ that produced the serotonin, the dopamine, and the oxytocin to create this connection with the world and to try to transmute demons, which really have done nothing but destroy me. I think that they give me gain, but really in the end they really don't ever give me true fulfillment. Matter of fact, they rob me of true fulfillment. And I've noticed that in everybody else that uses these same demons to get what they think they want. But that is through looking at the all of existence and the cause and effect of everything. Anyway, I must continue the shitting into this bag, wipe my ass, and go work. I really do hope that everybody dances, an hour a day, gets a massage 1 hour a day, gets healthy food, and words of affirmation, that they find people that actually truly love them, but it's themselves first, loving themselves, and then having, one to all the people on earth love them. Anything is possible. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful eternal experience. Energy expands, whether through the physical of procreation of sperm to egg or energetic transference of auric energy. So, chat, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. And may you do unto others in such good ways they feel compelled to do amazingly onto you. Cheers.